What's up guys, and welcome back to Bathroom Finance. Today we'll be trying to get rid of bank fees by comparing 5 different checking accounts here in Canada. So last month I paid 4 different bank fees on my checkings account, which means I paid over $13 to my bank with almost little to no benefit. There's no interest paid on this account, and so if I can find a low fee alternative, sounds like a good move to me. I'd much rather keep my $160 a year in fees and use it for hanging out with my friends or putting it towards a flight. So I decided to shop around. My needs for this checking account were pretty basic. I keep a daily balance of about $2,000 to $3,000. I send e-transfers pretty frequently, at least once a month, and I do probably 10 to 15 transactions a month. So basic accounts work well for me because I use my credit card for most of my purchases, but if you're someone who uses your checking account a fair amount throughout the month, you might want to look at something like a premium or a plus account. Now most of these accounts usually carry a fee of about $15 to $30, but if you carry a minimum balance in your account, your bank will most likely waive your fee. It's usually about $4,000 to $6,000, so if you're keeping your emergency fund in your checking account, then this account might work for you. However, I keep my emergency fund in my savings account, so it's just not an option that would work for me. So for the most basic of customers like myself, there's really 3 different options for me. There's Click and Mortar, which is offered by a lot of the big banks, which means you have physical locations that you can go into and get full service, but they also have really good online presence. There's online checking savings hybrid accounts that offer strictly online services, and they're a checking account that have a high interest rate like you'd find on a savings account. And then finally there's online checking accounts which offer strictly online services. For Click and Mortar, the service offerings were pretty similar for most of the banks. It was what I had with my TD minimum account. There's an account fee of about $4 a month. You are limited to about 12 transactions. Some accounts allow you to send 1 or 2 e-transfers for free a month, and then you'll pay an ATM fee if you use a non-brand ATM. For me, I've been paying too many bank fees for too long, so the online service offerings with lower fees are just much more attractive to me. For online hybrid checking savings accounts, Wealthsimple Cash is a pretty good option, but I just don't think it's quite ready for adoption yet. They're promising a lot of really good features, but many of them are still under development, which is why I think they're not quite ready yet. There's already no account fees, no minimum balances, and you get a high interest rate of 1.9%. However, you don't quite yet have the ability to pay bills, buy things online, or receive a direct deposit from your employer. The fact that you can't make a direct deposit from an employer was a deal breaker for me because it means I would have to have a second account to receive my check and then transfer that money to Wealthsimple Cash, and then transfer it back when I went to make another purchase online. So it just seems a bit messy to me right now, but it could be a really good offering in the future. Another one of these hybrid accounts is offered through EQ Bank, but again, a deal breaker for me is that the only way to withdraw your funds was through e-transfers or transfers to another linked account. And so looking at options 1 and 2, there's high fees or linked accounts. And so with low fees and simplicity, I decided to focus on strictly online checkings accounts. And here there's really 2 companies that I see as leading the Canadian market. There's Tangerine and Simply. Both accounts offer no monthly fees, unlimited transactions, and unlimited e-transfers. So a big thumbs up to both companies on that. When you do need to withdraw cash, both banks operate with partner banks to offer free ATM withdrawals. Through Simply, you can make free withdrawals from any CIBC ATM, and for Tangerine, you can do the same for any of Scotiabank's 3,400 ATMs across Canada. Both partner banks have huge networks, so again, we'll give a thumbs up to both companies. They do offer some interest on your holdings, not much for me with the amount that I'll be holding in my account, but for Tangerine, they offer 0.15% on accounts with less than $50,000, and for Simply, accounts with $1,000 to $5,000 get 0.1%. So not really a big difference here between the 2, but we'll go ahead and we'll give Tangerine a thumbs up on this one. So what made the final difference between Tangerine and Simply for me? As silly as it sounds, it was actually the welcome bonus. Tangerine has a welcome bonus of $200, while Simply's is just $150. And because both companies have about the same requirements for actually claiming these welcome bonuses, I just went with the one that was a little bit higher. So that's my choice. I went with Tangerine based on the low fees, the little bit of interest that I will gain on my account, and the great welcome bonus. If you're thinking about making the switch to Tangerine, you should check out the referral link in the description for this video and get yourself a free $50. Other than my referral link, I have no affiliation with Tangerine Bank or any of the banks that I looked at in today's episode. I just truly thought that it was the best bank for my needs. The final flush is a quick breakdown of my portfolio's progress and the trades that I'll be making for this week. This was an absolutely wild week of trading as we saw the stock market's circuit breaker being triggered twice in 1 week. The circuit breaker is triggered when the market loses more than 7% in one trading day, and it basically shuts down the entire market for 15 minutes so traders can get their cool and hopefully slow down their selling. Then, at the end of the week, we had Trump's announcement of a national emergency against the virus and additional funding and resources that they would be pumping in, and that caused the S&P 500 to jump 9.3% at the end of the week. So just as a quick recap of last week, we had Monday down 4%, Tuesday up 5%, Wednesday down 5%, Thursday down 9%, and then Friday up 9%. Now keep in mind that average returns for the full year in the S&P 500 are about 7%, so this was definitely a roller coaster. So either way, I decided to invest on Thursday afternoon, picking up some additional shares of Fortis and Scotiabank, as well as some more shares in ZAG, which is a bond ETF. I know it probably would have been better to really lean in on stocks this week, but I wanted to keep my asset allocation to a minimum of 25% bonds, which is why I went with ZAG again this week. These are just my stock picks and my asset allocation, which work for my risk level, so you should definitely do your own research before making any investments for your own portfolio. Even with Friday's big rally, I fully expect the stock market to continue to decline over the coming weeks and months. But I'm going to continue to invest throughout the year because I agree with what Trump said at the end of his announcement. I do think that this will pass and the North American market will come out stronger on the other side. So far this year, I've invested $10,000, which has shrank an incredible 13% over the last 10 weeks, and has generated over $22 in dividends. Let's keep it going and deposit another $1,000 to be used in next week's episode. While we wait for that transfer to complete, don't forget to check out Tangerine Bank and let me know any of the questions you have in the comments below. If you like this comparison of the different checkings accounts, go ahead and give this video a like and show the channel some love by hitting that subscribe button. Alright everybody, the bowl's refilled and I gotta run, so I'll see you on the next episode of Bathroom Finance.